It's a good question. Blake, I just think that the conviction with his pitches. I mean, if he's attacking guys in the zone and trusting that he can get outs inside the strike zone, that's a pretty big tell. I mean, I think that's kind of the sum of what has taken place through the first 5 games of this series is we just haven't done a good enough job of establishing that we're gonna get out within the zone early in the count. Now, the Dodgers do a tremendous job of seeing pitches, getting deep in the count, pretty fearless with hitting with 2 strikes, but we haven't done ourselves any favors by really just saying, attack, attack, attack. It's been a lot of ball, strike. And, throughout that, they're seeing everything that we got right. That first at bat for a lot of them, all the weapons have been brought out. So the more that Blake can just get in the zone really quickly.
Gotcha. As far as your lineup, you had some success against Gonsolin and whoever else follows him the other day. Do you anticipate anything radically different or pretty consistent with what you've been doing?
I think it'll be pretty consistent. We've got a couple options. Look, we got to find a little offense somehow. There's guys. I mean, Yandy's starting to swing the bat a little bit better here. So we're going to discuss today. Take the day to come up with what we feel is the best option to start the game. I personally have no idea what Gonsolin. I know he's capable of many pitches. I don't know if that's exactly the route they're going to take. They could get pretty creative with their, they got a thick bullpen, go right, left. Don't want to give them the option to where they can pin us down to making, radical changes in the second or third inning. So a lot to consider.
And then just the last thing, do you think you'll have the same kind of esprit de corps from the group you had in the previous 2 elimination type situations, or do you think maybe it's even different, more so tomorrow?
No, I think they'll be very consistent. They'll be very consistent. The vibe in the clubhouse yesterday, I heard a couple guys, just saying, hey, let's go, enjoy the off day, get ready to play. And that's what they do. So I would anticipate them being very consistent.
Scott Smith.
Kevin, how is kind of processing an elimination game with a day off here? I mean, I'm sure that you always appreciate a day to kind of just recalibrate, but when you're facing an elimination game in Game 6, how's the anxiety level? How do you guys kind of process the day?
Well, we haven't had the off day with this unique postseason to process that much. Generally, it's been a game after Game 6 or after Game 4. All right, whatever just took place, get ready to go play. This one, there's more thoughts. In a way, I think it's good. I mean, our bullpen is going to be that much fresher. If you want to talk about momentum, maybe you stop the Dodgers' momentum a little bit. But we're chomping at the bit to play. I mean, I'm glad we have the off day, but I guarantee by 6 o'clock this afternoon or this evening, wish that we were going to be at the field playing.
Tim Brown.
Kevin, I'm always curious. So last night, did you intentionally show Choi in order to get out from under May and then get some matchups against the left-handed Gonzalez? Was that an intentional thing by you?
Maybe.
How did it go? I'll tell you then.
What's that?
He said, how did it go? I'll tell you if it was purposeful or not.
Yeah, you know what? There was a thought. I mean, anything that we could get Randy kind of an opportunity to hit off of Gonzalez, we thought that was a good matchup. We liked the matchup with Bros hitting. Ideally, and look, if May would have stayed in the game, we would have felt good about Choi hitting off May. I mean, he's filthy and to righties with the 100-mile-an-hour sinker. But I think we all felt that if we can somehow pin a left-hander to face to Randy, it might be our best chance.
Okay. I'm never sure if we're making stuff up in our heads while we're watching it happen or if these things are intentional.
Yeah, I mean, look, they made pitches. Bross's at bat was huge, and he made a good pitch to Gonzalez made a really good pitch to Randy to kind of quiet it right there.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Skylar Dixon.
Kevin, you've had a few games with limited fans now. In the quiet moments and the intense moments, how noticeable, if at all, is the difference between that and a postseason game with a packed stadium?
Well, it's awesome just to have fans in the stands. And to be honest with you, the acoustics here at Globe Life Park and the fan, it certainly sounds like there's 40,000 people in there. Now they might be 35,000 Dodger fans, which is okay. Any type of loudness and energy that creates a lot in the dugout. That creates intensity. So it's loud, and it's been really refreshing to get to play with fans.
Is there anything that you noticed after that crazy ending the other night that made you say, yeah, it kind of feels normal crowd-wise? Was it pretty loud?
It was loud. I mean, yeah, you wish that crazy ending would have happened. We were wearing whites that day, so in theory, that would have happened at the Trop. That would have been one special moment for our fans. That's the only thing you wish could have taken place, but understand why it's not.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Jason Stark.
Hey, Kevin, I think back on that last game in the Yankees series and how when you got the lead in that game, you got so aggressive in using your pitching to nail down that game. So how difficult it has been for you to do what the Rays do best in this series, just because you're never grabbing those early leads?
It's been challenging, really challenging. We're going to get aggressive tomorrow. If we can somehow get a lead and limit them, we got some of the big guys in the back end of the bullpen that are ready to go. But that's kind of our MO. I think that's what makes us special at times, especially from the pitching department, just continuing to give different looks. Consistently being inconsistent with the looks that we're giving opposing lineups. And more than anything with this Dodger lineup, just to not allow them to see repeated at bats and times through the order. It just hasn't happened yet because you're right. They're up 1, 2, or 3-0 by the second or third inning every night, it feels like.
And you think that explains, like what you just described, that explains why you've had the record that you've had this year when you get the lead?
Well, you do it a little differently in the postseason. You're a little, you're a little more aggressive. But yeah, I do think that, and look, I give our starters a ton of credit. They're really good. They're. I do think that's a little bit of our strategy. I know that's our strategy to get a lead and then get aggressive to where we feel we can limit whatever offense is out there. I mean, you look at last night, for example. We didn't have the lead, but once Glaz came out of the game, those guys pitched really, really well. And I think it does help that the more we can give Muncy, Bellinger, Turner, Seager, and definitely Mookie different looks, that we're going to have a better chance to keep them quiet.
Thanks, man. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Pete Abraham.
Kevin, your group won 2 must-have games earlier in this postseason. How much do you think that can help them going into tomorrow, especially from not so much an emotional standpoint, but from a baseball standpoint?
Well, I think it'll help. Any type of experience, and certainly this experience in this postseason has helped us. I mean, these guys have the tension, the anxiety, the pressure, all of those things. It was there in Game 5 against New York. It was definitely there, probably in Game 6 and 7 against Houston. And it's going to be the same thing here now. The good thing is we've got a lot of personalities and a lot of characters on this team that do such a good job of embracing that rather than running from it or changing from it. They embrace it. And I think they'll rise to that moment.
How much can it help a manager?
I don't know. Probably not that much because I'll be pretty stressed out.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bob Nightingale.
Hey, Kevin, going back to the Margot's attempt to steal home last night. I don't know if you've seen the replay, but Kevin Kiermaier kind of backs away. If he stays there because the play was so close, you think Margot scores?
Good question. I saw it afterwards, and we were sitting here in our bubble tent, and there were so many what ifs in that situation. If KK sits there and the ball hits KK, what happens? If KK sits there and swings at it and puts the ball in play, I have no idea what happens on that instance. But no, I do not think what KK had any effect on him being safe or out. Looking back on it, if Kershaw would have thrown the ball another 6 inches away from Barnes, maybe Margot's hand gets in there. The actually watching the play, it was a lot closer than maybe I thought it was as it happened. But look, KK wasn't prepared for it. I don't think anybody was prepared for it, and that's what made it, arguably a chance to be a special play.
Thanks, Kevin.
Brett
Does
Friedlander.
anybody know what would have happened if KK would have swung and hit the ball?
If what now?
If he would have hit the ball, what would have happened?
I don't know. I mean, could have hit him. I just think if he had stayed there, I think he would have helped Margot score. Because it was so, like you said, it was so close. Yeah.
Kevin, we've got Ryan Thompson coming here in a couple of minutes, and I was just kind of wondering, is he somebody that you were counting on right from the get-go, or have you been surprised with what you've gotten from him, especially in the postseason?
Were we counting on him? No, we were not going to count on him back in Port Charlotte right out of the gate. We knew we had a talented pitcher, but felt like, he would really benefit from going to AAA and continuing his progress, his development. He pitched so good in Port Charlotte, and then same thing at the alternate site early on in 2.0, that he was coming over to us and throwing live BPs, and he was just dominant. And I give Tom's a lot of credit, and definitely Eric, our front office, for recognizing that we knew the best version of our club had him on it. He's been a stud for us basically all season long. He hit one little hiccup there, midway through the 60 games. But he's been so efficient and really dominating. So impressed how he has learned to, he has the sinker and the slider against right-handers, but he's made himself pretty challenging for left-handed batters as well.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Good luck.
Thank you.
Scott Miller.
Hey, Kevin. You got me?
Yep.
Back to the Margot steal. I'm just wondering, not in a second guessing kind of way, but did you talk to him after the game last night, or as you guys were exploring kind of how that play went down? I wonder what he had to say and what struck you and anybody else that might have been involved.
I did not talk to Manny. Rodney did. And I, in fairness to Manny, I probably needed to see the play on replay. I'll certainly talk to him tomorrow or today in the hotel if I see him. And I'm curious just to get his thought, what he saw. And like I said after the game, like we have to trust our players and their decision making to that what makes them special, and that's a part of Manny's game that makes him a special player. And looking back on it, one little thing, he put pressure on the defense. It took a perfect play, a perfect tag, a perfect awareness from Kershaw for him not to be safe. So you don't like the end result, but you certainly feel like the thought process was there.
And last thing, in the bubble today on the off day, any team activities planned or anything, or are guys kind of on their own?
They're pretty much on their own. We've got a kind of a rainy, windy, cool day. They got a couple big fire pits out there, so we'll probably go sit by the fire pits this afternoon and just talk about baseball.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
All right, that's it for Cash. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Okay, guys. Thank you.